Cinderella. Once upon a time, a girl named Cinderella lived with her stepmother and two stepsisters. Poor Cinderella had to work hard all day long so the others could rest. It was she who cooked the meals, it was she who kept the fire going. The poor girl could not stay clean from all the ashes and cinders by the fire. One day, big news came to town. The king and queen were going to have a ball. It was time for the prince to find a bride. All of the young ladies in the land were invited to come. They were wild with joy. At Cinderella's house, she now had extra work to do. She had to make 2 brand new gowns for her stepsisters. "Faster!" shouted one stepsister. "You call that a dress?" screamed the other. "Oh dear," said Cinderella. "What can I—" The stepmother marched into the room. "What can you what?" "Well," she said, "when will I have time to make my own dress for the ball?" "You," yelled the stepmother. "Who said you were going to the ball?" Soon the time came for the stepmother and stepsisters to leave for the big party. Their fine carriage came to the door. The stepmother and stepsisters hopped inside and they were off. "Ah me," said Cinderella sadly. The carriage rode down the street. She said aloud, "I wish I could go to the ball too." Then poof! All of a sudden in front of her was a fairy. "You called," said the fairy. "Did I?" said Cinderella. "Who are you?" "Why, your fairy godmother, of course. I know your wish, and I've come to grant it." "Well, I think you know I want to go to the ball too." She looked down at her dirty clothes. "But look at me." At once Cinderella was all clean. She was dressed in a beautiful blue gown. Her hair was set up high on her head inside a golden band. "This is wonderful," said Cinderella. "Who said I was done?" said the fairy. She tapped her wand again. At once a beautiful carriage came to be with a driver and 4 white horses. All of this lasts only to midnight though, so tonight at the stroke of midnight it will all be over. So you must leave before midnight, remember. Over at the ball, the prince did not know what to think. "Why do you have that sad look on your face?" the queen said to her son. He'd met many of the young women, yet after he said hello, one by one, he could find nothing more to say. "Look!" someone pointed to the front door. "Who is that?" All heads turned. Who was that lovely young woman stepping down the stairs? "Have we met?" said the prince. "I am pleased to meet you now," said Cinderella with a bow. The prince felt a leap in his heart. He and Cinderella danced. When the song was over, they danced again. And then they danced again and yet again. Soon the other maidens at the ball grew jealous. "Why is he dancing all the time with her?" they said. "How rude!" They laughed and talked and they danced some more. In fact, they danced for so long that Cinderella did not see the clock. "Oh my," she cried out, "it's almost midnight. I must go," said Cinderella. She ran to the steps. "Please stop for a moment," said the prince. "Oh dear," she said as one glass slipper fell off her foot on the stair. "Wait," called the prince. He picked up a glass slipper and rushed out of the door. He looked around but could not see her. "This is all I have left from her," he said, looking down at the glass slipper. He saw that it was made in a special way to fit a foot like none other. "Somewhere there is the other glass slipper," he said, "and when I find it, I will find her too. Then I will ask her to be my bride." From house to house went the prince. One young woman after another tried to fit her foot inside the glass slipper, but none could fit. At last the prince came to Cinderella's house. "He is coming," called one stepsister as she looked out of the window. "At the door," screamed the other stepsister. "Quick," yelled the stepmother, "get ready. One of you must be the one to fit your foot in that slipper, no matter what." The first stepsister tried to place a foot in the glass slipper. She tried hard, but it just would not fit. Then the second stepsister tried to fit her foot inside. She tried and tried with all her might too, but no luck. "Are there no other young women in the house?" said the prince. "None," said the stepmother. "Maybe there is one more," said Cinderella, stepping into the room. "I thought you said there were no other young women here," said the prince. "None who matter," said the stepmother in a hiss. "Come here," said the prince. Cinderella stepped up to him. The prince got down on one knee and tried the glass slipper on her foot. "I knew it," he cried. "You were the one." "What?" shouted a stepsister. "Not her," screamed the other stepsister. "That cannot be," yelled the stepmother. "I have found you," he said. "And I have found you," said Cinderella. And so Cinderella and the prince were married, and they lived happily ever after.